We're here at Springfield, wet and damp Springfield,
Yeah.
joined by Elliott Powell again. Elliott, how do you think the game went against Stevenage on Saturday?
Yeah, clearly, it wasn't going to be a result that we were going to be looking for there. It's more about the performance. I thought the performance was really good, out of possession in particular. We had to suffer sometimes without the ball, and really, really pleased with the lads how they kind of defended, the shape that we had. We were actually able to influence the game and affect Stevenage. I think they had it all their own way. We're disappointed with the 3 goals that we've given away, the sloppy goals, but when you're under that period of pressure for that amount of time against professional athletes, and 22 of them, when they change their 11 at half time, really, really proud of the effort, and I thought it was a good marker of where we're at out of possession, and now we've got a few weeks before Spelthorne to focus on the in-possession stuff.
Yeah, well, certainly improvement from last year where we lost, I believe, 4-0.
Yep.
One of the things we've seen the players using here at training is some of the new GPS vests. Can you tell us a bit about those?
Yeah, so a massive thank you to the board for the investment that they've put into the new GPS system this year. Delighted to have signed a deal with Player Data to kit us up with 24 GPS units this season. So you will have seen all the lads tonight wearing them. That data then gets uploaded straight after training. All of it's centrally kept, so the lads don't have to worry about doing anything, and then that'll be analysed by Jan and put in towards their training plans, and it's a good marker to see where we're at. So last night when they had their fitness testing, we can see kind of the load that we've put through their bodies, and that's why we've called training a little bit early tonight. We can see kind of the fatigue that are on some of them already, so we'll just ease it up a little bit, and hopefully on a long season, that player care, player welfare element, we should be able to rotate properly. We'll know when people are getting into that kind of red zone before an injury, but also then when lads do get injured, we know what level they need to hit to come back to play, and if they're not at that level, we know we're taking a risk with them. So it's just puts the players at the centre of all the decisions that we're making. Also gives them some competition. Especially Luke Watson, he's delighted that he's getting down to a 4-second 30-metre sprint, so by the end of the season he might even be down underneath the 4-second mark with his fellow older statesmen in Kerry and Campbell. So Watto will be very much keeping an eye on the data.
Well, that kind of leads a little bit into our next question, which comes from IPOP, the management sponsors. Since joining the club, which player/players have surprised you, and do you think they'll have a big impact on the side this season?
I think all the lads, in terms of their commitment, their desire, have not surprised me, because I've seen it a couple of times now, but they just impress me every week in terms of how professional they are. I think one lad that's come back that I didn't know an awful lot about is probably James Sunley. His ability to take it on the half turn, he should give us a lot more retention in the final third. I think he looks really comfortable in tight spaces, and he looks like a player that's played at those higher steps. So looking forward to seeing how James settles in, the partnerships that he can create across midfield and the front line as well. I think he could be a really big player for us this year.
A reminder to anyone watching, then feel free to comment to give us any more questions we can pass to Elliott for next week. But you've got effectively 2 weeks off now ahead of Spelthorne. Everything looking okay against that?
Yeah, we already know sort of how we're going to be shaping up for that Spelthorne in terms of availability. Obviously struggling a little bit tonight in terms of holidays. A few of the young lads off on some sort of research trip together. So yeah, we're struggling a little bit for availability this week, but next week I think we start getting back into big numbers for training, which is what we need. We need those competition for places. Yes, Spelthorne is obviously a big moment in the calendar to get started with a new regime, a new era, some new players, etc. But we then straight into 3 games in a week, and we understand the tribulations that are going to be through this season. So preparing very much for Spelthorne, but preparing for the season as a whole over these 2 weeks.
Well, good luck, and we'll speak to you again next week.
Perfect, thank you, mate.